everybody. Right, so let's just see. This is all looking okay. Try and get the light right. It's shadowy. Is that better? No, that's definitely too dark. That's better. Okay, it's a little bit shadowy. Sorry, everyone. The light in this house is not near my desk, and with it being night, I've got a little lamp on, but it's making it a bit shadowy, so sorry about that. Okay, let's just wait and see if everyone is going to join us. So today, I've really loved trying out people's challenges on my videos, because I can still make the same sorts of stuff, but using a challenge, it's really good. It's pushing me and hopefully bringing you some cool challenges that are out there. Yeah, it's fun. So today's challenge, we're actually a sponsor over on the More Than Words challenge. So there's a page and a corresponding blog. Hi Cleo. And their mini challenge this month is to use the word when, which at first I thought, I can't really think of that. When I started to think though, it was actually very easy. Hi Deborah. And so on the mini challenge, you need to use either tag, ATC, card, or postcard only. The main challenge is open to anything, I believe. Just double check that over there. And the main challenge is the past and the rust that I showed you before. So I've actually got it here. Let me just grab it. So I didn't demo this one, but I did have a go at it. I put it up. So this was my rust and the past canvas. So I used some rust paste and some sprays, and I had this. This is a proper photo that I got from a antique shop. So it's cool. So that was my attempt at that one. So we're going to do the mini challenge today. So I'm going to do a tag. Hi Carolyn, and I think that's Kasha commenting under the Thompson's Craft. But I'm going to do a double tag. So I've got a thin but large tag. This is from a local company that's actually sadly shut now. And then I've got a thicker tag, and this is the Wood Arts tag. This is tag number 1. So we've got 3 different tags in the store. So the same shape but different. One's bigger, one's thicker. So I thought this would be quite cool. And sorry, to the left of me here, I've got some Prima moldings that I'm going to use, that I've made with molds and the modelling material from our shop. And then this little pile of goodies here is some Hobbylicious craft boards here and some MDFs. We did show you the phrases we had, and I did mention very soon we're going to have the words coming, so I'm going to be using one of the words today. Okay, so I had a thought, and I was thinking, I wonder, because you know the Tim Holtz sticker books all seem to have every word in. I thought, I wonder if the new stamp set that we got in has more anywhere on it, and it did. So this is where I've drawn when, sorry, more than words, the word when, and it has one that says I'm happiest when I'm with you. So that's my inspiration for this tag and to take part in the challenge. So we have to use the word when. So then when I saw that, I thought actually that's a really easy word to use. So when, it could be you know, when we were here, like it could be a memory or something, or like this, I'm happiest when I'm, you know, that sort of thing. Hi Elle. Elle's one of the ladies over on the More Than Words challenge, so do pop over there and take part. It'll be really fun. So if you pop over to the page, they've got all the links to the blogs for the corresponding challenges. So let's go ahead and get started. So I've got all these goodies here that I need to now prep. So if you bear with me, we need to get some gesso going. So I have chosen some paper. I thought the phrase needed a quite romantic sort of paper, and I've got a really ditty. I like to do collages on the photo apps, and I've got this little ditty photo of me and my partner, so we're going to use that. And to go with that, I'm using the AB Studio Somewhere range. So this is the one I showed you that's, yeah, I love that stamp set, and it stamps crisp, as you will see after. This is the one that's kind of family marriage themed, so it's got echoes of marriage certificates, birth certificates, all that sort of thing, but just, you know, also generally quite romantic feeling, this very soft pink green colours. So I've pulled out a couple of sheets from there that we're going to use as well. So this is sheet number 7, Lovely Lady, and sheet 3 for Lovers. So I'm going to use those in the tag. But let's go ahead, let's do the tags themselves first, and then we can start to build. So I'm going to use Prima Heavy White Gesso. These tags are quite naturally dark in tone, so I want to use a thicker sort of gesso to make sure I get coverage. Oh, it's brilliant, isn't it? Oh, I'm so glad. And I mean, you know, stamp sets are not cheap, but they're an investment, and when you've got something so useful as that you can use, you know, you could use that on every single project, because I always like to have a word or a title or a phrase or something like that on my projects. They don't feel complete to me without one. That's just my style. So this is a really good investment for me. And they're individually cut so that you don't have to stamp the whole stamp. You can just do the one you want to use, which is dead handy. And I'm always worried with small stamps like that, are they going to stick to my block, or can often I don't use a block, so can I press it down and still get the word nice and crisp? And I did it without a block, so I put it down on the page. I'll show you later when I use it. I put it down onto my paper, and then I took, it was a block actually, but you could take anything with a bit of weight that's flat, and press down onto it, and it came out perfectly. And what I've found from practice now, because I used to be very rubbish at using stamps, it's just to make sure when stamps are new that you prime them. So just ink them up. If they have a sticky feel first, especially when using the photopolymer stamps, the clear ones, you want to wipe them first to get the sticky residue they sometimes have off them, and then ink them, and then leave that to dry, and then ink again before you stamp. And if you do that, you'll get a much crisper feel, because you've then kind of got rid of all this residue that's on there. And that's something I learned from Tracy, that demos for All and Create and designs for them, and also from her, the type of ink. So I thought it was just me, but actually the type of ink I was using was an issue for me. So now I use VersaFine Claire for black, it's Nocturne, and ever since I've done both those things, I've not had any issues with stamping, so that's great. So while I've been chatting there, I've got one layer of gesso on these tags. I'm just going to dry those so I can put them out the way. I just knocked my heat gun on the floor. Let me just rescue that. Excuse my head if you saw it then. I am leaning on plastic, so I'm going to lift these up. The reason I just did that, I know I've got matte underneath, but because I'm demoing, I didn't want to get gesso everywhere trying to paint all these. and then have to put my project on the wet gesso, or have to spend ages cleaning up. So I've just got a piece of plastic so I can whiz that out my way while we demo. If you're doing it in your hand like this, do be careful. Obviously heat guns get very hot, so don't burn yourself. That's that one, put that up there. And so if you've not used gesso before, what this is doing, it's giving us a matte surface. So it's especially useful if you've got something porous like a paper, or an embellishment that's softer perhaps, like a chipboard. It will just stop whatever water base mediums you're putting on top soaking in, so you don't waste so much. And if you've got something with a shiny surface, a slippery surface, it gives grit to it and makes it smoother, so the product's easier to apply. You'll get a better coverage. Right, so that's those. Let's bring in all the little bits and bobs. So this is the boring part. Once we've done this, we can get building. So lots of embellishments. Lately, chipboards and MDFs and grey boards and all that sort of stuff are becoming probably my favourite kind of embellishment to use. I like to layer them up, and I am a converted light board, so this stuff, craft board, lightweight craft board, so it's the same kind of stuff beer mats are made of. I am converted by the Hobbylicious ladies because I appreciate what they've said now, that I used to just like to use MDF, but then the height of MDF, it's usually much thicker, so you're kind of limited in the amount of layers you can build, if that makes sense. Whereas when you mix it up with the light board, you can get lots of more layers going on without too quickly building the height, if that makes sense. So yeah, I really like to combine all of them now and add in things like molds or metals. This modeling material, by the way, if you're using something like a paint or wax, you can sometimes get away without priming them. It's got a nice matte surface. Yeah, I tried to ignore. Oh, yeah. Lost you there for a second. Hopefully we're okay now. Hi Shafali. Yeah, Tim Holtz and Primo are basically the ones that sucked me into crafting, and I'm still a sucker for them both. And he does lives of all his releases, and it's kind of like when one comes on, I'm like, oh no, not again. And if I was rich, then I would buy everything from Tim Holtz because I do love it. And the quality is next to none. The papers are fab. The stamps, because I like the rubber stamps, I prefer rubber stamps, and they're just brilliant. Get such a crisp image from them. Yeah, so yeah, I'm trying to ignore, and I usually try not to look at the stamps because they can be an expensive game when you want more than one. But I couldn't resist with this word one. I had to have that one. Okay, so we're done on these. Have we got them all? Yes, right. Put that in the right pot, not into my juice, into my paint water. I'll tip these off now and dry them. Then we can start building and colouring. Right, let me give them a quick dry. Let's move this out of the way. Yes, exactly, Elle. It's just like, stop. He's just great with the lives. And I love his enthusiasm as well. I mean, I don't know exactly how long he's been doing this, but it's a long time. But he just seems so excited every time. You know, like it's the first thing he's ever brought out, and I love that. You know, that he still seems to get so excited about it all. What's that? Yeah. He just seems like a genuinely nice guy too. So, yeah, must be something like that, right? And still someone's class I would like to take. I got it because when I first started, when the craft show in Birmingham was actually quite decent back, there was Tim Holtz was demoing, and this was before I sort of knew very much. So I didn't book down to do it. Absolutely gutted now. I could have done a making take with him. Ah, there you go. Right, so let's bring back the tag. Okay, so I was thinking something like this. I was trying to find my heavy body gel, which is the strongest of the Prima gels. It's super dense, but I cannot for the life of me find my pot. So I'm going to go with the next best thing, which is the 3D gloss gel, or you can get 3D matte gel as well. Whoops, this is a new tub. And this will be fine. It's not too heavy. And this is quite chunky though, so I'm going to be quite generous. So we want to make sure this is the most important part that we're doing now. So preparing your surface with gesso for any wet mediums, and then making sure that your base layer is stuck down properly. Because if your base layer is not stuck, anything you put on top, it's all going to come flying off, and you really don't want that to happen. So if you get those two things right, spend a bit of time, it's going to make all the difference. Okay, and I personally, a gel medium is the one for me. 3D gel, heavy gel. Glue guns are, especially when you're working with plastics or metals, resins, they're not going to hold forever. It's plastic on plastic. It's going to, or plastic to metal, shiny on shiny. It's going to come off eventually. So I try to avoid that personally. It's up to you. I just need to get, I had a class the other day and everything's still a little bit gone walkies. Let me just get some wipes. Here we go. Just to clean my knife. Yeah, creativation. But I have to say, now I'm more wanting to go to Creative World rather than Creativation. So Creative World in Germany, and I'm going next year. It's definitely happening. Okay. Right, actually I just remembered before I stuck that down, I wanted to stick this here. So let's do that. Okay. Actually, that's fine. So I'll just stick a little bit under here as well. There we go. Straighten that up. The other thing I like about gel is you have time. This gel, you have time to move it around. Yeah, Frankfurt. Much closer for us. Yeah, definitely. Okay, I'm going to have this one here. So again, I just take a little bit on the knife and just kind of pat that around. You don't need to cover it everywhere. It's strong stuff, and this is very light. This is the craft board, so we just need enough to make contact with the tag to hold it in place. Let's go for that there. Oh, actually I want to move that a bit higher because I want the love word to be on there as well. Okay, now I was going to have my wings on here, I was thinking, with this piece in the middle. Okay, we'll move that up a bit. Maybe I can have the love up here instead. Move this down a little bit. Okay, and we're going to stick this one. Again, just tapping the back a little bit. Strong stuff. It'll take, you know, overnight to dry fully, but we get enough contact, enough hold to be able to carry on with our project. We don't have to sit here and wait for it to dry. It's not that slow drying. Let's go this way. Yeah. You just have to be careful not to be too heavy-handed. Actually, I'm not sure which way around should I have them. Let's go that way. And then I was thinking this little star. Yeah, it's got all my favorite brands there, and so it'd be really cool to meet some of our suppliers there. I nearly let slip our new brand. You know, Prima, Finnabair usually demos there. You've got AB Studio, 13 Arts. Who else was there? Minte Papers, loads of really cool companies. So for me now, having moved more to the European market, Creative World appeals to me more as a show. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So if anyone wants to join me next year, or you're going and you want to say hi, please do so. Just drop me a message. I've been trying to go the last 2 years, and I was like, yep, I'm going this year. And then with moving, and I just didn't have any holiday left at work. It was really frustrating, and I just couldn't go. Right, so we've got our kind of base down. I'm going to give it a little dry, just to get a bit more hold on that. Hello, Sue. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, just to give us a bit of a stronger hold, and then we can start doing some colours. So I've brought out my favourite impastos. So I've got Jade, which is a really nice colour. It's not mint, it's not teal, it's kind of in between. Then we've got Raspberry Pink, which is quite a bright pink. Yeah, our favourites, Carolyn. You'll find all these brands, by the way. Our website is thompsonscraftsupplies.com. You'll find all these on there. And my favourite, Snow White. Must invest in a new one. So we're going to use those to colour. And we mustn't forget our stamp. I was going to put some papers onto the tags, but I think I'm just going to use the cut parts instead. Yeah, this is one of my favourite colours. I don't know if it's showing up on the camera that well, but it's a greeny, bluey kind of colour. It's not mint, it's bolder than mint. Right, so let me just wipe my hand a little bit. Right, so let's see. Yeah, that's okay. Right, and I've also got Sparks paints in Butterfly Spells. You can find the impastos and the sparks on our website. I've got one of the new matte waxes, Patina Green. I thought this would go well. We've got all the molded pieces. We've got the molds. Those are the Prima molds. Lots of these bits aren't ones we sell at the moment. They're in pack from Hobbylicious sent me, but we have got lots of different Hobbylicious items on the website, and I've got some new ones coming soon as well. But you can pop over there as well, hobbylicious.com, and get some of those from the lovely ladies. Got all sorts on there. Right, so let's colour. So we're going to do our impastos first. I'm going to use the white because the paper, show you again, is quite delicate colours, so I'm going to use that to tone down these paints. So my white is getting a bit thick because I didn't shut it properly, so we'll pop some over on my mat here. So what I'll do is add the green and pink. I'm just popping a tiny splodge on my mat over here. They're very, very pigmented. Hi Jackie, thank you, that's great. They're very pigmented and very thick, so for a project this size you just need, like, I probably put too much on, like a pea-sized amount is going to be enough. Okay, get some, let's start with the lighter colour, so we'll start with the pink, and I'm just literally going to brush this on, no particular method, and I'm going to also use my water spray to get this flowing about a bit. I should have probably filled this up a bit. Okay. And some more water. Oops, I haven't stuck that one yet. Let's stick that down. Oh, thank you, Kasha. Kasha, would you mind to link our website as well? That would be really handy. Oh, you have. Sorry, I just saw it above. So there you go. That's the two websites. So our website, thompsoncraftsupplies.com, and then just below is the Hobbylicious site as well. You can get some of these embellishments from. The words are ones I've had done, so they're going to be on my website very soon. Get rid of that gunky bit there. There we go. Now it's stuck. You often do that, and then you pick a piece of work up and you find you haven't stuck some of it down. I'm always doing that. Let's just quickly blast that. The ladies on Hobbylicious as well, so I just said I got my words designed. They do custom work as well, so if there's something you've been dying for and you can't find it anywhere, they will be able to help you with that. So do check them out. Okay, we're going to pick up the teal now, and if we blend these we're going to get a nice kind of lilac-y-ish colour, I should think. Yeah, I don't want too much of that. So we'll go back to just teal now. Being rough, no exactness. I'm going to use the water to move it around in a second. Okay, so let's get the water spray. Yeah, they're just, words are so handy, so I thought, I love word stickers, but I find myself always putting them on, like mounting them onto something, and I thought, well, why let's not just have something that's dimensional to start with. So I asked you lovely ladies, could you do some MDF ones, and they did, and they look brilliant, and they're like a bigger size than, say, a sticker. They're more like the kind of thicker size you would see for scrapbooking, so they're better when you want something a bit bigger than just a sticker. So I'm just drying this and then going back in, blending the colours again, and I'm going to tone all this down with the white in a minute. Yeah, the MTF words are really handy. I find myself reaching for them a lot, and the phrases are fab, because on the phrases you've got the words in different directions, so they're not just in a straight line. Some of them go, oops, excuse me, squeaky voice. Some of them go in a kind of diagonal, and yeah, they're interesting. So the phrases are on our website now, so if you want to check that out, you can look under the section of chipboards and MDFs and you'll find them in there. Or we do have a Hobbylicious brand category on our website now as well, so you can filter by that. We've got a search bar at the top as well, you can just pop a search in there. Okay, I think we've got the colour mostly everywhere. So let's now switch paintbrush, and I'll just clear this up a little bit. We'll give this a dry, and we'll go and dry brush in some white just to tone that down. Yeah, that's a nice colour. So here is where we've blended them. So that these paints are, they behave like any acrylic, so they're blendable when wet. But the difference is to most acrylic paints is they are matte, which is something I love. I love paints, but you don't always want that shiny feel. So I love that about them. They're super pigmented, you know, if you water them down, they just go so far. They're so thick that you can stencil with them. When I stencil, I like to mix them in with heavy body gel as well, and you'll get a really crisp stenciling then. I want to get this really quite dry now, because I don't want to be blending the colours now. I'm trying to tone it down, so if it was still wet it's just going to mix with it and make a pastel colour, whereas I'm trying to get a nice white over the top. Oh, thanks Kasha. And oh, something actually exciting to tell you about. The ladies that are all here with me this evening, actually, Kasha, our lovely DT, and does her own classes and bits and bobs, and Cleo and Deb of Hobbylicious. We have started our new page where there's some more information coming soon. We're going to be doing some kits, so check that out. I don't know if you could tag that page for us, Kasha, that would be fab. So yeah, that's really exciting. We're just waiting on the final element for our first kit, and then we're going to bring that to you. So of course features our favourites, Hobbylicious goodies. There's a custom element in there, so you won't find that in the shop now. That may change in the future, but from when the kit comes out, that will be just in the kit, I believe. Ladies, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong there. So I'm just roughly brushing on the white. I'm not picking up too much paint. I don't want to lose everything I've done. We're just toning it down. So it's kind of like highlight. You see what I'm doing? Yep, so the new company, well, it's not a company, the new brand is called Kit and Caboodle, with a bit of a play on words with that. You know, to mean like everything but the kitchen sink sort of thing. Oops, be careful with that bit. So it's going to be mixed media style kit, bringing together the best of our two brands basically. So a lot influence of paints and mediums and papers from our company, and then things like stencils, chipboards, MDFs from the Hobbylicious ladies. Okay, so that's looking quite nice. I actually really like that lilac colour. That's turned out nice. This bit's gone a bit soggy. Let's pull that off. So black and white are really important in your colour palette, to highlight with white and to create shadows with darker. So black, or it could be brown, depending on what colour palette you're using. So don't forget black and white, they're very important. And also, of course, white to create new colours. Okay, that looks fine for now. Right, so let's look to some more embellishments now. So, oh, that was a lot of paint there. Clear that up a little bit. It's a bit of a waste. I didn't realise I'd put that much on my mat. Of my precious white impasto paint. That was very naughty. Okay, let's get rid of those then. We're done with them. I'm going to leave the sparkle and the wax till the end, so they'll be like our kind of finishing touches. Right, so let's have a look. Paper. So let's go to our paper, and we'll have some nice flowers from this, I think, that we can sort of tuck in. Right, so we're going to cut some of these out. I am not a fussy cutting extraordinaire, so what I often do is leave a white border. This is not this bad. I will cut it out more than that, I promise. But that just works for me, and I quite like a border anyway, because then you can, if you want to, you can ink the edges if you want something to pop out a bit more, so that's quite nice. Let's have a third one. Should we have one with leaves maybe? Maybe this one's quite pretty. There's so many details on these AB Studio sheets. You have to be a little bit careful when you cut them out, because you can snip through another where there's so many pretty things. Okay, let's start with those and then we can decide if we need more. Yeah, I like to leave a border. I don't know, it's just my personal taste. It started because I'm lazy, but then I decided I like it because I am a lover of ephemera, so that's probably where that comes from, because ephemera is usually printed with a border, isn't it? What time are we doing? Oh, not as long as I thought. That's good. Don't like to keep you too long on these demos. Don't want to bore you to tears. How are we all doing then? Is anyone crafting along, like having a go at this challenge yourself? It'd be interesting to know what you're making. If you are, that's really cool. If not, give it a go when you have chance. So you've got, I think, till the end of this month. If you pop over on the link that I've provided, it's got all the details there of how to post, when to post by, and so forth. And don't forget, you can win prizes as well, so it's really worth entering. And there's some pretty decent prizes, I have to say, on this challenge. So very much worth entering. Yeah, AB Studio papers are heavenly for fussy. I think I'm probably the same as you, Carolyn. I don't think I was totally in love with it yet until I found AB Studio, because they just have to be. They just long to be fussy cut. They always have 1 or 2, sometimes 3 sheets in their collections that just scream to be cut out. So this one again that I'm using is Somewhere. There's 5 new ranges. You can find them all on the website. So again, we have an AB Studio brand you can filter by, or just search, or use the categories. Like there's a category for paper packs or single papers. I ate really early today because I didn't really eat dinner, so I was good. But please do eat. Okay, yeah, these go quite nicely actually. There was something I was going to say then and I totally forgot. Lost my train of thought there. Let's see. was saying about the new brands. Yeah, there's 5 new brands. And oh, I was loving it but gutted at the same time when I saw them. I was like, damn, I love them all. I have to have them all. So yeah, I was pretty gutted with that. We've just loaded quite a lot of new stock. So we've got all the new AB Studio. We've got new Prima waxes and some stencils. We've got loads and loads of new Fabrique Decor, paints, papers, ephemera, chipboards, MDFs, so much. Brain has gone. Oh, ink sprays, loads and loads. We've got the new Minte papers, which are beautiful as well. Yeah, loads, and I've got more to come. I've got still some more Hobbylicious stuff. I've got a new brand to bring you. What else have we got? There's some AB Studio top-ups coming because you loved it all, but some of it went quite quickly. So yes, lots going on here at the moment. And also there's another kit collab that I've started with Kasha, which is, there's a new page for that as well. I don't know if you want to link that, Kasha, if you're still here. Yep, you're still here, giving me abuse. Sorry. And we've got 2 kits up for that now. Now the first one that Kasha designed has sold out in time for the live demo this Thursday, but Kasha is willing to make some more so that you can craft along after. And then there's my kit as well. My kit's available on our website, so if you wanted to get something else at the same time, you don't have to buy it separately, so that's handy. And my demo for that will be next month on that new page, so we'll get you some details of that as well. Yeah, so yeah, new company. I want to tell you, but I don't at the same time. Maybe I'll give you some sneak peeks. I'm collecting it on Wednesday. Wednesday's going to be a busy day. So possibly on Thursday I will have that ready for you. I'm just trying to decide where to pop my photo. Over here. Oh, am I back? I think I'm back. I think it's the weather today, folks. I'm sorry if it keeps cutting out. Give us some hints. Well, it's gonna be some paper. You know, we love our paper. I don't know. Do I want to tell you anything else at the moment? There's a few ranges. Yeah, I don't know. Shall I tell you anything else? I can't decide where to put the photo. Where do we think? I kind of want to put it there, but then I'm like, maybe there. Yeah, I think we'll go there. So let's stick that on. Yeah, so I use a photo app. I think it's just called Photo Grid. So you can choose, I think it's up to, I want to say 9 photos. Don't quote me on that. So I'm on Android, but I believe you can get this on Apple as well. And you just select the photos and it pops them in a grid, and you can choose the kind of layout of the grid you want. And then you can print that. I use spill the beans. I then print that with a photo app, so I use free prints because I get so many free prints a month onto a standard size photo, and then I just cut them out and they look really nice. They have little borders around. They're cute for smaller projects. Okay, so that's looking good. I'm so glad I didn't cover the whole because I totally forgot to check that. So I want to put some fabrics up there. So we're doing good. I'm going to do a little bit of stamping. So this is one of the little mini stamps by Finnabair that we've got. This one's called Secret Notes. So this is the Versa ink I was on about. Oh, did someone pop in that I missed? Oops, sorry, touching the camera. So yeah, it's really juicy ink. Love it. I'm just going to ink like a tiny bit so I can get this in where I want it. I just put my hand in the ink pad. Not advisable. So I'm just adding a little bit of like text. And I like doing like this because then you can bend it to just touch the area you want rather than on a block where you're going to get the whole lot whatever's inked, if that makes sense. Okay, that's enough. Where did I put that? Put down oh, hello Linda. I did miss someone. I thought someone had come in. Oh, Dana. Did I miss Dana? I'm sorry. Hello ladies. Nice to see you. Thank you for sharing. It's really appreciated. I'm loving the challenges. I've been watching you for a while and just it was really quite strange thinking, oh, I really will join in soon, and then just as I was thinking that, you actually contacted me about being a sponsor, so that was really cool. So you gave me the push to join in, so thank you. Quick slurp of a drink. Right, I think we're done with that. Now let's move that out the way, move these out the way. We're going to bring in some flowers now. I've got all these laces and stuff I'm going to add to the top after I've finished. Or actually, shall I do that before I start adding any more and I get in the way of myself? Let's do that now. So I'm going to just gather these together, finding the sort of rough halfway point of all of them. Fabrics are great to use not just as a tag top, but on your actual work as well. So if you glue them down and gesso over and then colour, they look really lovely. Creates a very nice texture. Now, is this going to be too much? Is it going to fit through that hole all together? Let's see. I'm careful not to break stuff. Okay, I think we're through. I'm just going to push that through there. Oops, one bit's fell out. One lace was a bit short. The tool is stuck. Okay. One tool, there we go. There we go. Yeah, well, no, my common thing to do is put the paintbrush in the drink. That's the one I do a lot. Okay, that seemed a lot more difficult than it needed to be. Okay, I'll play with that, but you can see that's a nice texture up there. I'll just maybe use this one to tie around there. Okay, there we have. So this could now be hung if we wanted to. Right, stick that down. Okay, some flowers. This is very girly, isn't it? Yeah, that was difficult, but we just about made it. Luckily, it was a big hole, and I thankfully didn't cover it with that great big leaf because I wasn't really paying attention. So I've got a bunch of flowers now, different brands. So these are Prima ones, these pretty beaded ones. These are, I don't know where these are from. They're from Fabrique Decor, but I know they don't produce them, they buy them in, so I'm not sure what brand exactly they are. These are from brain's gone. Ladies, you can help me. What's the flower company we're using now? It's not my old one anymore, they're from a new one. Okay, so I'm going to choose some flowers. Start with these little ones so we don't overwhelm it. Maybe those on there. And then we can, so we're starting to fill in the spaces now. So we're getting closer to the end of our demo. This is all decoration now. I like threes. Threes is my favourite number of things. Threes make me happy. Okay, I like those, so let's stick those down. We're not going to stick it down with paint. No, let's bring the gel back. So gel is great for sticking down flowers as well because they have these kind of rounded bottoms. They're not flat, a lot of them. So the gel will squish in to that kind of funny shape and make sure it attaches. I love flowers. Florals are just so versatile for me, and they don't have to be a feminine thing. I know you probably think, really, but you can, you know, you don't have to buy, oops, I've not my photo. You don't have to buy these sort of pretty colours. You could get darker colours. You can paint them with white gesso and recolor them, or black gesso and go metallic. They're just a great textured thing to add, I think. It's a bit like a butterfly or a cogs, you know, they're just one of those things that seem to go with a lot. No, that was the old one, Kasha. I Am Roses is who I used to use, but no, there's another one now and it's totally gone out of my head. I think we'll have this little butterfly. This is quite cute. I've had him in my stash and I keep picking him out and then he doesn't quite go, but he goes today. Right, and I've got these little things. Do they go, or is it getting too busy now? I think it's getting too busy, so let's stop with those. So we're going to move to finishing touches now. So finishing touches, I've got some hobbles, Hobbylicious hobbles. So these come in 3 different sizes. So this is the small, the one I'm going to use is the medium, and then the large. But these are, if you compare to other brands, they're on the small size. So the large is probably what you're used to seeing as a medium. So I really like these because you get a really fine texture. So we're going to use some of those. We're also going to use some silver micro beads. And I'm not going to need 3D gesso, 3D gel for this because these are very small light things. So I'm going to switch to a light gel. This is medium acrylic, transparent, so it's going to dry clear, and I'm going to use a paintbrush so I can direct where this goes. And I've also got, this is a glitter mica mix. I'm going to use some of that. So let's open up all these things. Put some hobble on my desk. It's just going to give us a little bit more texture, a little bit more colour, and it's good to fill the gaps as well. So if you've got a little space that seems like it's missing something, or where you've created a layer, you've got like a funny you know, gap like underneath something that's missing something. These are great things to use to fill those in. So I'm going to dip into my medium acrylic. You might see this called matte medium by some companies, or soft matte gel, the Prima one. This is basically just the runniest of the gels, but it's super sticky, so it's also great for things like collage, adding decoupage papers or tissue papers. It's not too thick, so it's good for applying delicate things without ripping them. Now I tend to go very quiet when I'm doing this, so I'll try my best not to switch off. And then I think we're going to be done once this is done. So this is not how I originally imagined this project going. It's turned out a lot more girly than I thought, but that's okay. My partner is away today, so maybe I'm feeling extra lovey-dovey because I'm missing him. Yeah, love the hobbles. So once we've done this, we're going to be pretty much finished. We're just going to add those finishing touches and of course our stamp, because that is the challenge, that contains the word for the challenge, so we can't forget to add that. This is very important. You could use seed beads, like if you have jewelry beads. You could use glitters, like chunky glitters would be good for this. And I think sort of textured and coloured, you know, something to contrast to what you've already got going on would be great. Yeah, it can get messy. A lot of the time what I do is get a bowl and mix it ready in the bowl and then just pick it up with my paintbrush, so you don't get so much mess. I want to get this gel I've put into my pot with all beads and stuff in. Scoop it out. To be honest, this probably is all I use it for, so it's not the end of the world. But yeah, I'd rather have it clean. Let me put some on my mat instead. If you do like the demo, then thank you, and you can follow the page. We do also have a YouTube channel. You can subscribe on there and click to get all notifications, so I always upload the demos to the YouTube as well after, so if you prefer to be on YouTube you can watch it there. And we do have a group as well, which is where we do more of our general chit chat, and we also do kind of a lot of our sneaky peeks on there, like what's coming and stuff, so that's quite good to join as well on Facebook. We do have Instagram and Pinterest as well. We must get the Pinterest updated. We're a bit slow at the Pinterest, we'll be honest. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie on that one. Okay, I think we're pretty much done. Don't want to overload it too much, because we've got lots going on already, so I think we'll stop there. And then let's bring in that touch of paint. Oh, thank you, Kasha. I'm going to bring in that shiny paint and the wax, and then our stamp. Now I want to stamp onto something, so if I cut off this strip at the bottom where the writing is, so I don't use any of my lovely cut parts, then I should have, there we go, a little bit of pattern on the back. I'll use that for my stamp. Okay, So stamp. So this is going to be one I haven't used before. So I'm going to do the priming that I said. So let me prime this before I do anything else. So it's here. And see, they just peel off individually. And it comes away pretty easy actually. Okay, so what I'm going to do is get my ink. Yes, so if you want to catch up, they will stay on the group, but you have to then search for them. And they also get shared to the page, sorry, and should get shared to the group. But if you just want somewhere a bit more organized to find them, they do go on YouTube. So I've just inked that, and I'm going to leave that to dry for a minute while I just do my paint and wax. And that's going to prime my stamp so that I get a really full and crisp stamp when I do it. Okay, so wax. I like to apply this with my finger. Here is the patina. So it's a matte but very pigmented colour still, so you can get a good patina kind of colour with these. I'm just going to go along anywhere I think's missing something or it needs just something extra. Being careful where I've got those beads and things because they're not dry yet. Oops, this one needs sticking a bit more. So you can really see that on the leaf there. So they behave just like the other waxes. So they're very soft. They've got that lovely smell. They're blendable when wet. But permanent once dry. But obviously the main difference is this matte finish. So you'll get a similar effect to like the rust and patina pastes that they sell, but in a wax formula. So this isn't going to dry up as easily as something in a pot that's more liquid would, if that makes sense, because it's a wax formula. So we're just using this to highlight little bits or change it to this nice matte finish. Looks really good on the wings. Okay, that's enough of that, I think. Don't want to overload. Right, and the touch of the shiny paint, wherever I just put it there. So this is Butterfly Spells. Yeah, they're yummy. I haven't used that one yet, actually. Yeah, it goes really well. So the paints are matte and the waxes are matte, so they're great. But you could also change it up and say use a gloss paint with a matte wax or a shiny wax with a matte paint. You could sort of experiment with that. So these are really shimmery and again pigmented well, like all of the Prima stuff. So they're very strong in colour and shine, so you don't need very much here. So I'll kind of hold it up, see if you can get the effect of that. Can you see that? The light isn't great in here. Okay, let's see, maybe a bit on top of the leaf. I like to use these shiny paints on the edges of flowers as well. Gives it a really nice touch. You see it there on the flower. So I'm just putting a bit on my brush and then brushing quite a lot of it off again. I don't want a big blob, I'm just kind of using it to highlight. Okay. And I think we just need the stamp and then we're done. So let's stick that there, get rid of that. So that ink's now dry and we will ink again. So you can see it's nice and primed now. We're going to ink that again. Whoops. And I'm not going to use a block. Let's see. So because they're quite thick, you can hold them nicely. And then just kind of a wiggle. And carefully lift it off. See, that's without a block. Really crisp. Yum. Love them. And we do have some of those in the shop, those stamp sets, if you are interested in those. A very good investment, I have to say. So let's cut this out. That is a very juicy ink, so just be careful when you very first stamped it. I might even just blast it with the heat gun a second. Oh, they're fab, Linda. Just a game changer, really. Just get a totally different effect, and the black and the white, as I was saying about paints, are really useful to create shadows, and the white is fab for like highlighting, like you would do with gesso. So on the Finnabair, the YouTube hop they've got at the minute, the Kitchen Alchemy, check that out. It's really fun actually, and very creative what they came up with. I think it was Tiffany on there said about how we would usually now like use gesso to highlight, but because it's not a full coverage and it's a water-based medium like paints are, gesso would often absorb the color of the paint, so you need to keep applying layer after layer, or like ink, whereas the wax is not gesso, so it doesn't absorb. It's they're waterproof, so you get that full coverage straight away, so it's really good. I'm just going to distress that a little bit with my scissors. And there I have my distress tool right next to me. Maybe I will use that instead of wrecking my scissors. And we're going to pop this on and then we are done. If there's any questions before I go, do give me a shout, or if you have any thoughts afterwards, feel free to pop on here or message me. I will gladly answer. Okay, so we just need to decide where this is going. Maybe down here. I stuck that butterfly on. Needs a bit more glue, I think. Maybe nestle down here, I think. I'm going to pop a bit of chipboard on the back just to support that better. Let me find some little scraps. So when you get these packs, oh, you're welcome, Linda. Do keep the bits you have left over, because they are dead useful for supporting papers to build layers. Okay, I'm just going to bring my 3D gel back just to stick that on with. There's some great demos. Finnabair's done one herself with the matte waxes if you'd like to know a bit more about them. They really are quite interesting. When you first get them, they're very, very soft, so you know, go gently with how much you're taking out. They will settle down a bit as you've had them a while. Okay, and so there we have it. So this is my More Than Words mini challenge for February, using the word when. So I am happiest when I'm with you. Mine is on a tag, so you can do a tag, a postcard, an ATC, or a card. And that's the requirements. So pop along there, I've put the link at the top, pop along and give it a go, and you can do anything. You don't have to make like mine. As long as it's those requirements, you can make anything you like. So I will get this on YouTube as well. It will be saved here. Just give it a couple of minutes after the video ends and it'll be here if you want to watch back again. And thank you very much for joining me. Good night, ladies. Bye bye.